Shut the fuck up, bitch, you backseat driving. We don't ask questions, know the vibes when we mobbing. 2-piece, send them to the dentist like Robin. Niggas won't talk, but niggas ain't.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy J.Brock. It's Clapitup LA. I'm right here with my boy, the homie Dreebo. He is an entrepreneur, artist, Mr. releasing a song for 365 days, y'all. And today, if I'm not mistaken, will be the release of 217.
Yep.
So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Dreebo, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. I'm glad to finally get to chop this game with you.
Sure.
It's been a long time coming. Now, as I said, my boy Dreebo has an entrepreneurship background. We are right here in his family-owned Jamaican restaurant, and it is called, I don't want to mess the word.
Natural Art.
Natural Art. So y'all need to make sure y'all pull up and come and get y'all some of this food right here. And man, make sure you let them know that Dreebo sent you. You know what I'm saying?
Just come get the Dreebo special.
Come get the Dreebo special.
A little discount, you feel me? It's the works. Just come get that.
So how long have you been involved in this restaurant? When did you first start actually partaking in what's going on here?
Probably when I was really 6, 8, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being in the back, folding forks and napkins, and we usually dine in. You know what I mean? But with COVID, we're not dining right now. We took go only. But back in the day, I would be folding the forks and napkins or putting just replenishing stuff, just basically assisting around at 6 years old or whatever. And then as you get older, you kind of gain more and more responsibility. And then maybe when I was a teenager, I went over to the market and I would work behind the cash register with my brothers. Okay. And then just kind of graduating essentially. And then you would assist them over here. And then, now.
Did they make you do all the work because you was the younger
brother?
Nah,
it was more I was like a runner, basically.
Okay,
They're hey, go tell such and such, and such. Or, hey, go get me such and such. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, go make my plate and come back and then make it.
But to me, at 8 years old, 10 years old, that's way better than folding napkins all day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, ooh, I done graduated to something else.
Right. So I mean, how much of growing up in this impacted your, influence to becoming an entrepreneur?
Man, I think it was a huge impact because it showed me the possibility, and it also just instilled hella work ethic in me that I didn't even know I was absorbing at the time. You know what I mean? Just being around what it takes to run this place and just seeing it firsthand and seeing the different pieces and the different people contributing, all that played a part into me believing in myself enough to go and try and be an entrepreneur.
Right. Now, when did you realize that being here at such an early age contributed to your work ethic? Because as young, as a little boy, 5, 6 years old, sometimes it's kind of I'm tired of being here. I just want to watch cartoons and play the game. When did you realize that this actually helped you in the long run?
Man, honestly, I didn't realize that until the back end when I got older, and I'm just you know what I mean? I do a lot of thinking for myself about just things I went through or decisions I made or why things in my life happened the way they happened. And thinking about my time here a lot and growing up here made me realize a lot of the reasons why I'm so easy to take a risk or better myself or, you know what I mean, work hard for the things I want, you know what I mean, because I saw people doing it.
And now, what are some of the memories that you have being here, growing up, some fun times that you will never forget? We all got those fun times we'll never forget. What's something like that you've experienced here?
Man, when I was working with my brothers in the market, that's probably, there was a bunch of times there where it's just jokes and stuff. I know one time specifically that I can remember that it's more funny than it was fun, but one time I was super young. I was I might have been 10, 11 or something like that. And my brothers had me outside on the corner. It's kind of bad, low key. They had me right here outside in the front with a hat. And I was singing Michael Jackson, but I was doing a rendition. I was be there for the poor people. And then people but them 11-year-old kids singing and shit. They damn, this kid sounds kind of good. And then they put dollars in the hat and shit. And I mentioned them getting $50 standing on the corner outside of the spot we own.
You
singing
came up
Michael
that
Jackson.
That's a lot
but
of
it's
money.
crazy full circle because I was singing there and I didn't know I wanted to do nothing in music.
Right.
And then full circle,
It just came back all around. Now you also were able to play Pop Warner football. What team did you play for? I know my team was better than yours, but you know, so I just gotta ask. What team was that?
Hey, Baldwin Hills Bruins.
Oh
man.
man, hey man.
Know what
hey
time
look,
it is, man.
any demo who watching this, Bill, know you gonna watch. You already know how bad we wanted to play against Baldwin.
Come on.
Oh, don't do that, homie.
Bill getting locked up. Bill not even getting off the line on me. Don't worry about it.
Oh, so you was locked. You was clamped like that.
But I was clamped, especially back then. Yeah. Back then, I was like, I was like bigger, so like as one of those kids. So like, I played like linebacker and running back. Okay. You know what I mean? And then as I got older, I moved to safety and played DB mainly.
Okay. Now, did you play with Kavion and Max and all those guys? Shaq? BJ?
Nah, I played with like Jeski and
Raheem. Okay. Oh, Raheem. Okay,
yeah.
cool. Okay. Yeah, so you are older than us then. Yeah. For sure. Okay,
and a couple years, yeah.
Yeah, and then you ended up going to Venice High School.
Yeah.
And you played with the running back that ended up going to USC. What's that name?
The homie Moody.
Shout out Moody. Yeah. How was your experience at Venice High School?
It was dope, man. It was dope. Made a lot of good like connections and friendships, and you know, deal with a lot of those same people to this day. You know what I mean? It was a dope experience. We had some crazy good teams. You know, just couldn't really get over that hump. But we had some squads, man. You know what I mean? Well, you know, we was young and figuring out life, and you know, it was a dope experience. Though I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Yeah. Now I gotta see. You gotta understand this. The whole entire time, Dreebo was playing football, still coming back here to make sure he put in the work at the restaurant too at the same time. How tired were you doing all of that?
Man, honestly, you don't really think about it in the moment because it's just regular for you. It's just like you go to your game and then you come up to the restaurant in your
fresh off of practice,
or just like even on a Saturday because we open on Saturday. So like I have a game at Rancho Park on Saturday and then come back here with my pants and all the shit on still and be in the back rolling napkins with my fucking football shit on. You
man, by any chance you gave somebody a muddy spoon?
Nah. Come on, man. You gotta wash them hands and shit. But, like you know what I mean, it was just normal. So it was
normal routine.
Yeah, so for me it was like I didn't even realize what was going on while going through it until I get older and I look back and I realize like the significance of it.
Right.
And that's when I can like really appreciate it.
Yeah. And that's a lot of what a lot of us do when we get older. We look back like, dang, that really helped.
Yeah.
Because we got to speak on you speaking on being up all throughout the night till 3 a.m. rapping. And then at 6 in the morning, he got to go to practice.
Man.
I hated early morning practices too.
That's the worst, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah. Now, now, how did you got your scholarship to Pittsburgh State? Did you get accepted academically? How did you get into there?
Yeah, so I had a scholarship to Pittsburgh State. That's where I went. So basically, after I graduated high school, I went to junior college. I had a couple offers that I couldn't accept due to like grades and stuff. So I just didn't qualify right away. So I went to junior college. Spent 2 years there, ran into the same situation. I had offers and couldn't accept them because grades, you know what I mean, just wasn't doing the right things in the classroom. And then that led me to going Division II, and then that's why I went to Pittsburgh State. Played there for a year.
The Gorillas.
You know what I mean? Played there for a year, won a Division II national championship.
Oh, that's hard, okay.
You know what I mean? Had a bunch of fun, still cool with a lot of the homies from there to this day. And then I went from there to Missouri S&T. Just Pittsburgh didn't really fit what I was, you know what I mean, trying to do for my last year.
Okay.
So I transferred to Missouri S&T where I had a coach with some familiarity from LA. And he coached at my high school, coached one of my brothers back in the day. Just kind of made more sense to be there. And then that's where we had like practice was like 6:30 in the morning or something like that. And then, you know, that's also where I took on music. Like I made my first, wasn't my first song, but like my first real song, like with the studio and equipment and everything, you know what I mean? I made my first song at S&T, then I really drew an interest in making music. Like I always loved music as a consumer, but I just had an interest in making it, and then I just kept making it, following that interest, and that led to me like I'm just like, because I like to do it. Like sometimes I stay up and play video games till 3 in the morning and I got something to do at 6, but like music was like, damn, I just kept going back. And next thing you know, every day I'm recording till damn near 3 in the morning, waking up at 6, walking up to the stadium. and starting practice at 6:30,
Right.
still being a part of the early group at 6:15, you know, getting our warm up in and shit.
And
'Cause
that's
all the DBs
something
would do
that you developed even here.
Yeah.
Because you had to do it like that.
And it was just
Right.
normal because it was like, that's the routine. You got to do what you got to do to get it done.
Now, do you remember what sparked that interest? Do you remember? Did you like just hop on a song or do a freestyle real quick and then
Yeah.
notice that I got to keep doing it? How did that? What sparked that interest for you?
I think just already having a love for music
Okay.
was just there, right? And then my first song I ever made was like on an iPhone earphone on GarageBand.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was just messing with the homie who was in LA and I was in Pittsburgh and we was just doing like this bullshit ass rap battle shit. Shout out to homie C Woods.
Yeah, shout out to Schoolboy,
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? We was just messing around. And then I went to Pittsburgh, we made a couple songs, and it was just like a hobby, whatever. But then when I went to Missouri S&T, I made a song called I'm Already Knowing. And then one of the homies on the team, he shot the video.
Okay, so how you shoot a video, with an iPhone or with a
Nah,
camera?
he had like a camera, but
Okay,
he was
okay.
like,
Okay.
that was what he was interested in too,
Okay,
and he
cool.
was in, like, he had classes with that and shit,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so it just made sense. He was like, let me shoot. I just did the song.
Right.
And then people on the team, they talking about the song,
Uh-huh.
and people around the school was talking about the song. Next thing you know, I'm walking to class, and people be like, Dreebo, I'm already knowing.
Right.
And I'm
So,
like,
so was the feedback important for you in continuing, or did it
yeah, I
not
mean,
matter?
it made me realize that I'm on to something.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, like I just made the song. I wasn't even like, ooh, this is the hardest song ever.
Right,
Or whatever.
right,
I
right,
just made a
yeah.
song. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because in my mind, I'm preparing to try and go to the NFL still.
Yeah, okay,
I'm not
gotcha.
thinking about being a rapper or nothing. I just made a song.
Yeah.
And then it's just like people around campus and school. And then next thing you know, when we shot the video, we went around to the dorm and just like had all these different people say like I'm already knowing at the end of the video.
Okay.
And it's like it just kind of started spreading, and then
Yeah.
people would see me and be like, Dreebo, I'm already knowing. I'm like, shit, I might be on it.
Yeah, that was
I
was
like making
catchy,
music,
yeah.
so let me just
Yeah.
keep making music.
Yeah. So I mean, so did you feel, so to speak, like a star on campus at that point in time?
No, I wouldn't say like a star, but because it's like, this might sound bad, but like as a football player, you already like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they like, oh, them the football players, or
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
when you like make plays and everybody be at the game,
Right.
they already know you from
Right.
football. So it's
Yeah.
like I didn't really feel like a star because people already knew who I was. Like Missouri S&T is a pretty small school, so it's like if you at the games, you know who I am because I'm making plays. They saying my name on the thing all the time,
Right,
or
right,
whatever.
right. Oh, he was one of those dudes. He had to throw that out there. He's
Yeah,
always
you
saying
feel
my
me?
name
Like,
anyway.
You come to the game, you gonna know who I am. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. When I was at Pittsburgh, they had the jumbotron, so your picture come on the
yeah.
jumbotron, you get an
Yeah.
interception, whatever.
Yeah.
So people knew. And then that's kind of like I've always been a football player. That kind of comes with it, just like being known. So I didn't really feel like a star, but I felt like, damn, like. If I make one song and people fucking with it, like what happens if I make 2 songs or 3 songs? You know what I mean? Or what happens if like I really work at this and try and develop it? Because growing up, my brother always made music,
Okay.
and I was like around it, but I never like thought I would make it. You know what I mean? And so I think just it allowed me to follow that interest like freely.
And it was just where it was working on you the whole time, and you didn't even know that. That's
Yeah.
how life works sometimes. You never, ever, ever know.
That
So
part.
when you playing ball, you said you stand up late to make the music, and then you got to go to practice. What are some of the things that's keeping you going at that point in time? Because it's either one or the other for a lot of
Yeah.
people. They can't do both.
No,
What keeps
for
you
sure.
going and able to do both at the same time?
Man, I think I was just like that interested in the music. Like I think I really enjoyed making music that much to where it was like I'm gonna find time for this.
Yeah.
And I just found
That's
time
right.
for
Yeah,
it.
that's
And then the time was just the time that I had was that little late pocket at night. from
You
like
gotta make it happen somehow.
8, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
to like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was the pocket that was available for me between school and football
Okay.
to try and do music. And so I enjoyed it that much that I was like, this is the time. And I'm gonna make it happen.
Okay, now I have to ask, we get great feedback for one thing, right?
For sure.
And the next thing is like, it's not the same. You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Have you dealt with that? And how did you deal with that and just keep going and understanding it's cool, we're just gonna keep going and getting better?
Man, I mean, shit, I deal with that right now. I deal with
Okay.
that early. I mean, I got like Shut the Fuck Up out right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that song booming. And I got songs that are just as, I feel like are just as
Just
good
as
or
hot,
even
yeah.
better
Yeah.
that ain't booing.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? And for me, it's like, I don't necessarily understand it, but it's also like, what I'm doing is building a catalog.
Yes,
and,
sir.
you know, it's like a bigger picture to what I'm doing. So I think having a plan with your action, it allows you to kind of not get too down on the times when you put a song out and it got 20 plays instead of 20,000. You know what I mean?
And so that never has altered your feelings on what's going on.
Because I
yeah.
have a plan, and
Yeah.
I also just like believe in my ability and the product that I'm putting out. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I just feel like eventually, with the more people that like hear about it and really tap into it and understand what's going on over here, like it's gonna grow.
Okay, that's good. See, the most important thing y'all gotta understand what he's saying is you have to believe in yourself. If you do not believe in yourself, brother, sister, it ain't gonna work. Now, Kanye West, Lupe Fiasco, why are these two artists so particular and so important to you? We know the song I Wonder, the song Superstar. Why are these songs and these artists so important to you?
Man, Kanye, just because he...
Man, and release Donda, Kanye. Goodness gracious.
For real, drop that. For real. Like, both of them, honestly, they kind of like always kind of did their own thing, right? And I appreciate that of them, you know what I mean? Like Lupe rapping about skateboarding in an era where it's street rap dominant.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? Like everything you hear is street rap, and this nigga talking about kick, push, kick.
Facts.
I can relate to that because, you know what I mean? Like I understand both sides of it. You know, like I ain't grow up in the streets, but I got like all my homies who grew up in the streets. So it's like I relate to an extent. You know what I mean? Because I ain't grow up in it. But like, yeah, like artists like that, just like kind of being themselves. Like I appreciated that, and not trying to like follow no mold. And then Lupe, he just fucking his rapping.
Yeah, Lupe.
You know what I mean? He next level. You
Right.
know? So it's an admiration, and just his music just spoke to me in a lot of different ways and in different times in my life and where I was at in my life. My older brother put me on to him like a while back, and then I just kind of like was hooked ever since. And Kanye, like I think also from a production standpoint, I appreciate Kanye a lot too, because I'm an artist who produces himself too. So it's like just kind of seeing what he does and how he does it, and sonically how shit comes out. Like, you know, he always hits the nail on the head.
Yeah, and you know what, I gotta speak on that. Lupe, when Lupe came out with that Kick Push and Superstar, man, he didn't necessarily take over, but he kind of took over because it was like it was something that you had to respect. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't respect it, so be it. But it was a sound that was brung to light, so to speak, in an era that that didn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to do that,
and
that's
he's like one of the best rappers ever, like just rapper. You know what I mean? And aside from that, like a lot of the best rappers ever can't make hits. Yeah, he made hits as well. You know what I'm saying? Like multiple. So it's like that is what I can appreciate, because I feel like I'm an artist who can make hits and also can rap. You know what I mean? And also can sing, and just is versatile.
Yes, sir.
Like,
yes, sir.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, because even I've even heard you, release that Jamaican, you know what I'm saying, the accent and everything like that in your music. To be able to do that is big on its own too. Like you can hear Drake, sometimes do his little thing and things like that. So that's absolutely dope. Now with Kanye, I Wonder. Now I can relate, because I would listen to that song all day long sometime in between class. All that whole album, that was something sick. So what did I Wonder do for you?
Man, it just made me like think about possibilities. Okay. You know what I mean?
What kind of possibilities?
Just like anything. Like I love that song so much. Every day when I used to walk to school, I would just replay that shit. I'm playing maybe like a 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk, something like that.
Are you like I'm a dreamy person? Would you say that you're a dreamy person?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Because I be getting lost in my thoughts.
Sometimes,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure. And I be thinking too far forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would walk to school every day and just replay that song so I remember the words. Like that's how I was like, I want to know the words to this. You know what I mean? And then that's the song just always made me just think about like the what if, you know what I mean? But in a positive way, like what if everything go the right way, or what if, you know what I mean, I want to do this, I could really do that, you know what I mean? And it just had me just kind of like expanding my mind on like places I could go and things I could do in my life.
Now I got to ask you, what was that transition like? Because as an athlete, we go through this transition. The game is over.
Man.
What we gonna do in life? I mean, but you already kind of discovered that. But what was that transition for you? Like really, like okay, this is all I got now.
Yeah.
Not really what you get, all you got, because you know.
What I was choosing,
yeah.
I mean, I had a confusing period too, because basically once football was ending, like
how did it end for you? Was it your school over?
I had injuries.
Okay.
So like I had 4 surgeries in 5 years. Like my last year, I played with my shoulder popping out all the time.
Ooh.
Like
What was that like?
It was crazy.
Excruciating.
There in JUCO, my last year in JUCO, like I had to pop it in myself. Sometimes I couldn't pop it in. I had to go to the hospital one time for them to pop it in.
Woo.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm just lucky, blessed that I ain't had no nerve damage and I still can use my arm. Like, thank God. But like, so once football was over, I just come out of surgery and I was supposed to do a pro day at Missouri Western and wasn't able to do it because I didn't heal up in time. And so I was just at a point where it was like I could continue pursuing football and try to like train for a year, get healthy, and then go to a regional combine, do all that, whatever. Or I could go try and be a firefighter, which is what my brothers were doing at the time. Or I could pursue music, and it was just like this 3-way crossroad. You know what I mean?
You had options.
So I moved back to San Francisco, and I was just kind of working. I was working at Sports Authority and doing music and being a firefighter. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try all 3 of these.
Okay, so you were a legit firefighter.
No, I wasn't a firefighter. I was like in the process. So I was like doing the panel interviews, the written tests, the physical tests. Like I went through the whole process, right? And so basically I went through the whole process while working at Sports Authority and these different little places while doing music on the side as well. Got to the process, they didn't hire me on the first run. And then the second run, I had to take the physical test again because it's just like they got a month window or whatever, however many months. And literally, like, I passed the test the first time easy, it wasn't even nothing. Second time I do the test, I'm still in shape, it's not nothing. But I go around the cone the wrong way.
Oh,
yeah, it's
like
like one of those,
bit.
like, it wasn't even a fatigue thing because it was the second drill. And it was I just had like a mental lapse in that moment and went around the cone the wrong way, automatic disqualification. And I'm whooped. I'm just like, damn, like I did all this. I spent the last 8-9 months like doing all this, going through these interviews, taking these tests, preparing, studying, whatever, to go around the wrong cone.
And so that's it? Like
it's over with. Like you
gotta start all over again?
You gotta either go take that test again, or you can't get hired, but you can only take the test within a certain amount of months. You see what I'm saying? So I would have to wait a certain amount of months, then take the test
and then everybody
again.
else got to take that test.
But this is at a time where I'm working odd jobs and I'm doing music, and I'm just like, I'm whooped, I'm crying to my girl, all kind of shit. I just feel like I failed everything. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know what I'm finna do in life. Like, I don't.
And how were you feeling like at those jobs? Because I can relate to coming from playing football, something we love to do, and having to work this job that we realize we hate this. Why am I here? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So how was, those moments for you?
It was just like how you explained. It was just like, man, I'm supposed to be doing more than this.
Right.
And I feel like I can be doing more than this.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's kind of like I worked at Sports Authority, and then I went to this company called Sizewise, like doing hospital mattresses. I'm in the hospitals or whatever. Then I went to a startup, was working for this company called Touch of Modern. Like I'm doing all these, like touching these different worlds, and it was cool. It was a good experience, but like, it didn't fulfill me.
Yeah,
you know
I completely understand.
And like me betting on myself now and coming back and helping my family business grow, growing my own business, growing my music career, like dropping product, like my jerk sauce. Like I'm way more happier.
Wait. He said he dropped some jerk sauce. I ain't know nothing about the jerk sauce.
Oh yeah.
Wait, how did you get into the jerk sauce game?
I mean,
we got to taste that jerk sauce. Man.
Yeah, you feel me? I learned from the best. You feel me? Took some notes and kind of made my own rendition of it.
Okay.
And Dreebo's jerk sauce is sold out right now, but we're gonna
Well, y'all make sure y'all tap in for that Dreebo jerk sauce, man. Yes, sir.
My somebody just hit me up the other day, like one of my peoples, they was like, man, they cooked with the jerk sauce to celebrate the Olympic win. When Jamaica won 1, 2, 3 in the female 100. And he was like, man, that shit was fire. I need a re-up.
Oh like, man, you got to do. Yeah, we got to.
I've been busy, but we gonna get that second batch going.
Well, what's the process like in creating your own sauce? What's some of the stuff that you have to know?
Really the process is the biggest thing. The process and the ingredients. Like, you know, it's a lot of different things. You gotta have pimento, you know, scallion, Scotch bonnet pepper.
Goodness gracious.
It's just the amount of things and just trial and error, you know what I mean? Like my sauce, it ain't even perfect. That's why I was so glad to have good feedback, because I'm like, I've had the sauce at the release party. And it was like, it was really a tester, because I was like, you know what I mean, I've been creating my batches and perfecting it a little bit, but like that was my first one where I felt like, all right, I'm ready for people to try it.
Dang, hey, this is the first time for everything. I'm sitting with somebody who created their own sauce. Come on now. That's some good stuff. That's
I might be able to do Soulja Boy. I might be the first
one to do the sauce.
Shout out Big
For real. Shout out Soulja, man. Now, during that crossover period, I bet you never thought you'd be making your own sauce at some point. Now, during that crossover period, you still rapping. Did your music change because of how you were feeling at that point in time, or did you continue to put out the good energy that you?
No, it definitely changed. Like the time I told you about, like where I went around the wrong cone, and it was just like I made this song called Heartbreak. It might be on SoundCloud still, I don't even know, but it was just like I was just felt like my whole world was just, because you know, there's a lot of people pushing me in that direction too, or just like, you know what I mean, telling me about that direction. I feel like I let them down, like I feel like I let my girl down, I feel like I let myself down, and I was just like, at that time there was like maybe like 2, 3 people who really believed in me doing music, you know what I mean, like my older brother, shout out Wally, you feel me, he was like one of the people that really believed in me heavy, and everybody else who like, they just love me for me. They're like, we let him do his thing, but I don't know if everybody like, it's like this nigga could be where I am today. You know what I mean?
Did that ever discourage you?
Nah, it never discouraged me, but that's what had me feeling the way I felt in those times. So it's like, damn, I let everybody down because they expected me to do this, she expected me to do this, I'm expecting, you know what I mean? And then that's also the point where I was like, I'm doing music. You know what I mean? And after I came out of that feeling and I really thought about like what I wanted to do, and I was like, man, I'm about to do what I want to do. And it's got to be for me. Because if I keep trying to do things or do what I think other people think I should be doing, like I'm never gonna be happy. You know,
that's big right there. So that's a lot of people living life right now, doing things that they feel is gonna make everybody else happy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Or so what they think other people expect them to be doing. It's just like you gotta do what makes you happy at the end of the day.
Do you feel like committing to rap was the hardest thing you could have did? And like being open about it, like, man, this is what I'm doing, I'm going in.
It was, I probably, honestly, because you just like, you jumping off the cliff and you like, you know, I don't have no history of like, you know, I don't got nobody, like I ain't had no plugs, I ain't had nothing, like, you know what I mean, I had some homies and I knew like Schoolboy Q a little prior, so I was able to like get in the building, you know, through some of my homies.
I know even that was still, you know, something.
And I was in the Bay at the time with all this going down, so like I wasn't even in LA, and that's part of why I moved back to LA, because I'm like, if I'm really gonna be serious about this music and commit to it, like I gotta be where I have some resources. You know what I mean? And shout out to my homies, because you know they didn't think twice about, you know, like really helping me. You know what I mean? I had one of my homies, shout out to homie Tiny, like he was managing me. He don't even, I don't think he wanted to be a manager at the time, but he knew some people and he believed in me, and he like, you know what I mean, I'm gonna help the homie however I can, you know what I mean? And he was literally managing me at one point and had no interest in managing, I don't think, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's love though, you know what I mean? For him to just be like, yeah, I believe in you, my nigga, so if I can help in any way I can help.
Shout out to him for wanting to be an asset. Now, being in the Bay, you were able to get some relationships with, you opened for Nepta Pharaoh.
Yeah.
You got a song with Larry June out there. You know, a song with Damian Lillard. Because Damian Lillard is from the Bay. How did you get all of these connections and build a relationship to get these opportunities with these guys?
So the Nepta Pharaoh show happened from when I was living in the Bay. I kind of like got together with these promoters and whatever, like by doing different shows, and that opportunity came about through those promoters.
Okay.
Shout out Nepta Pharaoh though. I fucked with him. He put on a good show for sure that night too. That show was lit. He had a good turnout. Definitely want to do something with him in the future. And then as far as Larry June, the homie Dope Networks, he kind of put that play together. He heard about me through a song I got with the homie TF called Crunch Time.
Yeah, shout out TF.
Yeah, shout out Doe and TF. So he kind of put that play together. He sent me that beat made by South Trees.
And it's organic pimping, right?
Yeah, organic pimping. So he sent me that beat. I put the hook. I wasn't even supposed to be on the song.
Okay.
Just the hook.
Okay.
And
So how'd you get on the song then?
So I sent the hook back.
Yeah.
He sent the song with the hook to Larry, and then Larry put a verse on it. He was fucking with it. He put a verse on it, and then it was kind of like a week or so, and they were trying to figure out who to put on the second verse. And I was like, shit, I'll just jump on that motherfucker, and I put a second verse on it, and then. You know, a million streams later, that's just a joint.
Just booming up.
Yeah,
that's what's up. That's what's up. A million streams. But so, what is it like? You know, coming across these people. How was the experience opening up for Nepta Pharaoh?
It was dope, man. Because you know, it's always good getting in front of a crowd who don't know who you are. Like I brought out my own audience.
Okay.
So like I had my pocket of people who were there for me. But it's always dope to like. See how people who know nothing about you, don't know who you are, react to your music, you know. And his crowd ready to turn up, you know.
Yeah,
but the Bay is always kind of like, even when we did the Crash tour, like the Bay was just like, the Bay is always like a dope show because they be ready to turn up.
Yeah. Do you feel like the energy the Bay bring is a little bit different from LA's?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think is the difference?
I feel like the Bay kind of has like a little more like carefree energy.
Okay.
And it's just like, you know what I mean? They just do whatever. Like, you feel me? Like, it's like, I'm with whatever.
Yeah.
And just like, I'm ready to turn up whatever we're trying to do. Like, from a show perspective too. You know what I mean? And LA is kind of more like observing than it is like enjoying wholly. You know what I mean?
I feel that. So what is Dreebo thinking about as he's walking onto the stage, getting ready to, you know what I'm saying, it's all on you, Dreebo.
Yeah.
What you thinking about as you getting ready to get out there and perform?
Honestly, it's like football. Like, I'm not thinking at that point. At that point, it's just...
Is it like adrenaline rush? Yeah.
Letting your preparation take control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when you practice every single day for that game that week. In that game, I try not to think no much. I'm just letting my body react and react. So like, when I'm on the show, I just prepare. So that way I know how my show is gonna go. So by the time I'm walking up on my show, I'm just letting my preparation take control.
Do you got them jitters?
Sometimes. I think that's never gonna go away. Like, you know, sometimes when you just like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's ever gonna go away.
Oh, me,
I don't be nervous, but it's just like, you know.
You just want to do what you gotta do.
And I've done like big shows, you know what I mean? Like, so.
What was the biggest show you've done?
The biggest show was the Crash tour for sure,
Okay.
because they sold out the Fox Theater. I want to say it was like fucking like, I don't know, like fucking 4,000 people or something like that, something crazy like that. And then underneath that, I did the Observatory opening for Currency with the homie TF and Bell too.
Okay.
And that was like 500, 600, something like that. And then I did one for 4 a long time ago. That was like another like 500 something. But it's always just felt natural. And so like even with them jitters, as soon as you get on there, it's go away.
It's man, for real. That's
First
what people be, because I swear those jitters are enough to make you walk away and not do it.
For sure.
It's enough to make you walk away.
But if you go through them, you get 1 second.
Just one word, like they say in football.
It's gone.
It's after the first play.
hit,
It's over. It's a wrap.
Even if you don't hit nobody, you just get blocked. You like, all right, boom, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So Speaking of Damian Lillard, we got to go back to that because you already know. Shout out Damian Lillard, he's a baller.
Yeah,
and
shout out
if you
Dame
know,
Dollar.
if you've listened to anything, he be spitting. So I hope you know that. Don't sleep on that man right there. Do not sleep on. So how did that situation come about, linking with Dame, and how happy were you to be able to have that opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, it was dope. Like for me, it's like I already mess with him as an athlete and just like what he stands for, the way he go about, you know what I mean, his career and his game and everything. Like to me, he was already a legend. Like I spent time in the Bay, so I already knew about him. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like he a legend in the Bay, you know what I mean? And to me, he's the best basketball rapper there's ever been. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe somebody come after him, but right now,
I know him and Shaq was going at it about it.
Yeah, he watched Shaq. You feel me? So it's like he's the best basketball rapper. So for me to like be a part of his legacy, like that's tight. You know what I mean? And just, you know what I mean, even if it's just one song, if it's multiple songs in the future, like if I know he working on an album, if that song gets on the album, like it's tight. You know what I mean? Just to be a part of that legacy and work with him.
Right, and getting that opportunity, how was it getting that opportunity?
It was good. It was dope. So shout out to homie Brookfield Deuce. I used to work with him a while ago. And he called me one day like, hey man, Dame looking for a singer on this record. And so I just was like, hell yeah, you feel me? Like, yeah, send it to me. So he sent me the song with Dame verses, and I just designed the hook around what Dame was talking about. And then, you know, sent it back. He fucked with it. Like 2 months later, the song came out, which is a quick turnaround for like bigger artists like that. And 2 months later, it came out, going up, and like intentionally, I was like trying to make the song to where it's like people are like, damn, this is one of Dame's best songs. You know what I mean? And people were saying that afterwards. So you know, I think I performed well on that song, and I think it's a super dope record. And you know, as far as the opportunity, like shout out to homie Deuce, and I'm just glad that I was prepared for it, you know what I mean, by putting in the work prior and just being able, like that's the biggest part to me. It's just like being prepared for the opportunities that come. I seen a clip the other day, I don't remember who said it, but like they said an opportunity isn't an opportunity unless it's taken advantage of. Like if you get an opportunity and you do nothing with it, it's not an opportunity.
Yeah, facts.
You know,
That's
like,
the truth.
man, that's like, so being prepared for the opportunities that you want is super important.
Now, you spoke on opening up for other shows before the opportunity with After Pharaoh, things like that. What type of shows were those? And when was the first time that you got to perform?
Man, the first time I performed was in like this small little spot in San Jose. Okay. And it was like my first ever performance. My 3 of my brothers was there. Yeah. My homie, like one of my best friends, he was my hype man. Like he don't even do music. He's a trainer now. You know what I mean? Like we was just, he like, but I got you. You feel me? Like I got some good homies with the hands, the brand. You know what I mean? Makes sense. But like he right there, my hype man. My brothers in the crowd, they wives in the crowd, my girl in the crowd. Like, and it was cool because it was a super small venue, so it was like packed. Yeah. And it was lit, you know what I mean? People who didn't never heard of me before was fucking with me. My people was fucking with me. And then from there, I want to say like I did. My next show was the Joel Ortiz one. Yeah, and it was, you said it was 7 people in attendance. Because I was like the first opener. Yeah. So like I went on. The show started at 8. I'm on at 8:05. You know what I mean? Like there's about 6 people in there. Like 4 of them came with me, like, you know what I mean? Man, like, that was rough. Yeah, that was rough. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there. There's a clip on Instagram through those same promoters somewhere too. But like, it's just, that's a part of the process, you know. But one thing I can't say is like I still got off that stage and there was 2-3 people like, yo, you dope, man. You know what that's what matters. And I'm like, and during that time, my whole motto was like, even to now, like my whole motto has always been like, reach one. Like if I do a show, if I do an appearance, if I do an interview, anything, like if I could reach one person to convert them into a fan, like whatever I did was worth it.
I understand that. Yeah, just reach one person. That's it. Shoot. In all honesty, it's one conversation that can change your entire life. Facts. One conversation. That's it. Not 50 of them. One. So. When you get to participate on Schoolboy Q's Crash Tour, when you get that opportunity, How long did it take you to get this opportunity, and how much did you appreciate even doing that with Bell, TF? You know, how much did you appreciate being able to be a part of that?
Oh man, I appreciate it a lot. Shout out to homie TF, you know what I mean? Because it wouldn't have happened without him. And shout out to homie Keem, like Mac Flop, everybody over there at TDE. Like, it was dope to share that moment with the homies, you know what I mean? And the people that I've been making music with for the past few years, like people that I've seen grind, the people I've grinded with. Like, I had this spot on the west side in West LA, like with a garage in the back, and we used to be in that garage just churning shit out, just churning records and just cutting records. We did Crunch Time in there, like we just did a bunch of records. And so, like, to share that stage and that opportunity in front of thousands of people with them, it was like, that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's dope. Y'all all there for each other. What's your relationship like with Bill?
Man, that's my dog. You know what I mean? Like, that's like my bro for real. Like, he, you know what I mean? We like Shaq and Kobe. You feel me?
Okay,
Like,
yes sir, yes sir.
We just
Yeah,
like bounce
yeah.
off each other. We
Yeah.
got hella good chemistry. We make like records super easy, super quick, and they still like super dope. I think we just relate on a lot of different levels, from the football aspect to just the way we think and life. Like, that's my dog.
I feel that now. You talk about having to take care of yourself mentally.
Yeah.
When did you realize that that was something that you needed to take seriously, and what did you do to have to implement that in your life?
Man, I think I probably realized that maybe like in my like early 20s.
Okay.
And it was just like, when you get like a lot of different opinions coming from different places, you got a lot of people pushing you in certain different directions, life pushing you in certain different directions, you thinking like, what's right, what's not right, what should I be doing, what shouldn't I be doing? Like, I just like kind of felt it, like, and even like I was working a job that I didn't want to work, I felt like there was more I could be doing or should be doing. And then I just started to just really just choose to be happy, like, and do things that make me happy, and really just find a balance in that. You know
What was some of the stuff, like, other than, you know, trying to please people, what were some of the other things, the darker things you had to overcome to be able to get here?
Man, like just self-doubt, you know what I mean? Like,
Do you still go through that doubt? Like, when you put out a song, you still self-doubting?
I don't self-doubt anymore, but you know, as you get older, you kind of like lose a little bit of the patience. That it's just like, man, like, when is it all gonna pay off?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is it all gonna pay off? You know what I mean? So I guess it's self-doubt in a way, but it's not necessarily about my ability. It's more so about like, damn, like, when is shit gonna manifest? Is it ever gonna manifest?
Right.
And you know, I just keep working. Like, my caveat for that is just keep working. And then as far as like my mental, it's just like the balance. Like, I'll play video games. Like, sometimes I'll take a whole day and play a video game. If that's just, you know what I mean? What I feel like I need to do just to decompress, or whatever I need to do, go take a drive. Like, you know, I do just try to find time and balance between work and things that I like to do for me.
I feel that now. In 2017 was the first time we saw Shop the Homies clothing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, also, like he said, he played a game, so you got to understand he got the homies gaming too,
you feel
and
me?
he
We getting
also
that
got Shop the Lil Homies.
Yeah.
Now, when you came up with Shop the Homies, which kind of made sense to me when you talk about how the homies were there for you.
Yeah.
What made you want to name the brand the Homies in that sense?
Just cause growing up in LA, like, that's like a normal term for us, you know what I mean? Like, hey, who finna come with you? Oh, the homies.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who is that? Oh, that's just the homie. He's
Yeah.
straight. Like, you know what I mean? It's been a general term, and so, you know, I figured it would be good to brand because it's already familiar.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, you know, like, my homies mean a lot to me, so it's like, it just gave me an opportunity to like show support back to them through merch and shit like that. And you know what I mean, I be hooking my homies up with shit, and just like really I wanted to have merch with the brand.
Okay.
You know, and it started out just being, I would drop music and drop merch, drop music, drop merch, and then when I didn't have music ready, people was asking for merch. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I started dropping merch when I didn't have music, and now there's people who know Shop the Homies and don't even know I own it. You know, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. That's
you
big
know?
time business right
Yeah,
there.
it's cool.
Now, how was it when you first released your first like shirt, your first pair of shorts? How was that for you?
It was cool, man. It was like, shout out my big brother Wally. You feel me? he like fronted my whole run for me because I was telling him like what I was trying to do, and he made 25 shirts for me with my little Dreebo logo, and then they all sold out in like a week.
Oh,
I
that's
was like,
hard.
damn.
Yeah.
I was
See, the thing is, a lot of people don't understand that selling these clothes are a little bit harder than what you may imagine.
Fact.
It's some things you got. You got people who will buy from you when you first start. And after that, they might come back again, but it's slow down.
Definitely.
So, how do you keep, motivated to continue to put clothing out?
I'm just thinking of different ways to do it. You know what I mean? Like I will have homies that I got that model some shit, so they're gonna put it out on their page, and their following's gonna see it. I got like, I'll do like social media campaigns with people that I have relationships with. Like I did one with Watts Homie Quan a few years back. We did one for these Cinco de Mayo t-shirts I had made called L Homies.
Oh,
and it went crazy. We did like a skit, and
you
know what I mean, it went crazy. So just kind of like thinking of different ways to involve people as well as like just present your product, like different ways to present the product, whether it be a little video, whether it be a different type of photo, a different location, a skit, whatever.
Okay, so you listen to Gary Vee and Nipsey Hussle have a conversation, and one of the things they talk about was somebody who would drop a song every single day. This is Mr. 365 right here. He's dropping a song every day. Like I said, today we at 217. He's dropping that this evening. Now, do you make these songs as you go, or these songs that you had in the vault? How is this going?
Man, I get that question all the time for real. So basically, I started with maybe a 50 song lead. Okay. And then I just kind of was just making them. So I've been making music all year, made 200 something songs so far this year, basically. In 2020, I planned on dropping 4 projects. Yeah. And then
pandemic, boy, that slowed a lot of
it. Just was I was like, there ain't no point. And then. I saw the interview in 2017, always liked the idea. It just felt like the right time towards the end of last year, and I'm like, all right, I committed to it. And I put out a tweet and I said, I'm gonna drop 365 songs next year to kind of to put the pressure on myself too, and now I gotta do it. Because I was like, if I just keep, because at first I was just gonna drop, and people catch on, they catch on. But then I was like, nah, I'm gonna hold myself accountable and do it publicly. Right. So I was like, boom, did it publicly, and the response, people were like, hell yeah, I'm for it. They're like, now, drop it.
Is it people that check in with you when you dropping a song today? When you dropping a song tomorrow? Is it people that check in with you about that sometimes?
Well, it used to. I would say maybe the last month or so that kind of slowed down. But there was times where I was late on a song and it wouldn't be up on all platforms. They'd be like, hey, where the song at? I'm like, man, it's on SoundCloud today because I didn't get it up on time. But you got that, and you got people who post every single song every day. You know what I mean? Share it to their stories, whatever. I'm appreciative for that because that's that's something that they ain't got to do, and it's really tapped in through along the journey.
Man, that's a different type of grind to post a song every single day. You got to be mad consistent for that.
It's crazy.
And how much do you enjoy, being able to do that, and just to be able to say at the end of the day, man, I dropped a song every day. Man, that's a part of your story right there.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, if I don't do nothing else, at least I can tell my kids I dropped a song every single day.
Every single day, y'all. You know how much focus that take to do that. Crazy. Yeah. Now, as you do this, how do you feel? The progress in the situation you got going. How are you growing in this as well?
It's crazy because going into this, I was thinking damn, this is gonna make me a better artist, or this is gonna make me songwrite better, or this is gonna be better for me musically. This shit is making me a better person. This shit is challenging me in ways that I never thought I would. It's making me think different. It's low key doing more for me outside of music, you know what I mean, than it is in music. Granted, opportunities have come and things are growing, and but it's doing so much more for me than I thought it would.
Are you thinking about pulling the Kanye on us and going up in there talking some boo boo bop?
Nah.
Hey, I mean, why not?
hey, literally, this is all for experimenting. So you might hear some shit, be like, damn, what Dreebo on? You might hear some punk rock shit.
I had to put the song out. I just had to put it out. That's how I was feeling that day.
Nah, but I try to uphold the quality too, because that's part of my big thing. I feel of the 216 songs I've dropped already,
that's a lot.
At least 80% of them are dope as hell.
That's
I really believe that.
That's like 20 albums.
You know what I'm
Something like
saying?
that,
Yeah, like that's that's somebody's career.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I
Facts.
mean? So even just being able to get on a song and not say the same thing 216 times.
Oh,
like,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't really think people understand what I'm doing right now, but at the same token, it's like what I'm doing right now. Like I just said in the song recently, I said, working for the back end while stacking on the front. Like, I'm working for the future right now. Like, I'm working for the next 7 months, a year. Like, when this is all said and done, like, niggas will really understand what I did in 2021 and the significance of it.
Right. Yeah, facts, man. I swear. You said something this morning, I can't remember, and I should have quoted it, but it was a bar that I wish I had written down on song number 216, okay? I swear to y'all. I'm now pulling up to the Shut the Fuck Up video release.
Yeah.
Man, how long had y'all been putting in the work for that? Y'all was in a real player area for that song.
Yeah.
That song gives me Nate Dogg vibes.
For
you know
sure,
what I'm saying? So how was the process of making that song, and what made y'all pick the location y'all picked?
Man, so that song was made. It was actually made for 365. It was a batch. The homies, Two Senses Beats. They from the Bay.
Okay. Shout out to them.
Yeah, they sent me a batch. It was in that batch. I was working for 365 at this point because it was like the end of December, and I was like, I'm just working on 365. And I made that song. It was fire. I was like, damn, this is fire. Like, it's what I made in that moment.
Right.
And I moved it from like February to January 4th. I was like, I want to come out the gate with some bangers. And so I came out the gate with like 4 bangers, and that was the 4th one. Did a little like influencer marketing with Ashley Amani. She skated to it. Shit just started kind of taking off. And then
160,000 views at this point.
Yeah, and so we waited. I wanted to just put it together right, because it's like, it's a big record. Like, I believe it could be even bigger. Like, it's my first big record, so it's like I wanted to just do it right. So it took us like a few months to really plan with Maximo, who directed it, and our team, and we just put it together, and then got the locations right, shot it up, and put the release party together with Sasha and everybody, and Tarveen. We produced it, shot the homies, produced it, developed. Like, it just all came together in like the perfect timing. You know what I mean? And I'm just glad we took our time with it.
Yeah, that whole situation is perfect. It's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? I was looking on the Instagram and saw y'all had the camera strapped to the front of the Jeep. Like, because I was thinking, people don't really understand how the camera angles are done like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, did y'all have trouble seeing what was going on? Because you got the camera.
I for sure did, because I'm driving and I'm driving through the hills. So I'm like, man, I'm not about to be the nigga to break this shit. Like, you got the Jeep. I'm like, I ain't finna fuck the Jeep up or the camera. And he like, nah, you good. It's not gonna fall off. You could go like 25 miles. I'm like, I'm about to go 2 miles.
I'm about to drive that. I feel you. Now, at the video release party, how happy were you with the turnout?
Man,
I know you had a lot of people here. You feel me? How happy were you about that?
Man, I was super happy. You know what I mean? I was kind of nervous because so many people were hitting me up the day of. I was thinking it was gonna be too many people. But it actually ended up being like, the perfect amount. Super good turnout, a lot of good energy, and everybody enjoyed themselves. So I was happy. Like, to me, the event went flawless.
Now that was a dope event. That was the first time I actually got to meet my boy Dreebo in person. And man, I could tell you was a solid dude from that point on.
Vice versa.
And so also,
I think I found out about your shit from the homie Butter, and I remember I had DM'd you like, man, keep doing your shit.
What Butter? What was it?
I don't even know. I think he shared something of you that it might have. I don't know what he shared, but I think I seen it with him, and then I saw you again when you did the bill with the homies. So I was like, I was like, I think I DM'd you like, keep doing your shit, man, because I just had fun with what you was doing.
Probably so. What I got to tell you though, immediately, you have that aura about yourself.
No, I
you know what I'm saying? Like, you already in the industry, you already there, you already solidified.
No, I appreciate
you have that about yourself, and that's something a lot of people cannot. It's something that you can't fake, but you naturally have that. You know what I'm saying? So all you got to do is keep going. Now we got to give a shout out to my boy. He is going to be performing at Payday LA coming up August 31st.
Man,
now, how you feel about that situation? Oh, well, okay, so pull-up situations. I remember maybe because it was the quarantine, I was seeing people just like kind of on a microphone and nobody was there.
Oh, nah,
Okay.
it's gonna be live. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's at the Resident, I believe, downtown. Shout out to homie Prez and his whole team over at Payday LA. Yeah, they got me on that. Shit, they got me headlining that mug, so we about to just.
Oh yeah, big headlines.
Yeah, you feel me?
Yes,
we about
sir.
To do it up.
Yeah, big
We about to do it
headlines.
up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring some special guests with me. We're gonna go crazy.
Okay, now I gotta ask you, do you think about what you've been through up until this point? And what do you clap it up for yourself for when you think about your past sitting here today?
Man, I clap it up to myself for continuing to keep going.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know, just from the beginning of my life to now, there's like a lot of different times I could have stopped. You know what I mean? And just whether it's be football, whether it be whatever, like there's a lot of times I could have stopped, and especially with music. Like that's one thing that I never stopped. And just like, you know, as I keep going, opportunities keep getting better, and you know, things just keep falling in place and making more sense. So like, I'll clap it up to myself for just continuing to keep going.
Okay, I feel that. Now look, y'all make sure y'all tap in with the homie Dreebo. And make sure y'all comp some merch. Y'all be on the lookout for that Payday LA show coming up August 31st. He is the headliner. We gotta clap it up for that. The headliner right here. Yes sir, yes sir. And man, y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff so we can continue to get this word out. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Once again, y'all clap it up LA, and we out.